The old shack back over there in the background. We'll go over there. Somewhere between 1950 and 1955, the first television was put up here at this old shed, bought by the sawmill company, and you'd come up here, I don't remember, maybe it was once on a Friday or Saturday night, and they'd have a TV outside. They had old benches and stuff up here, and you could watch wrestling and boxing. They might have a half an hour of it or something. And then it was some years later, or months, I don't remember now. I was a young kid, somewhere between age probably about 6 and 10, that then they got television piped into town. But this would be the pickup station. This would be the receiving station, and then they somehow got it into town. I don't remember how they did it. But this is where we'd come up and watch our first TV. This is the first TV location for the Bates, Austin area. Like I say, somewhere I think between 1950 and 1955. TV shack being right up on the hill, right here was the area what we call the old reservoir. This we come up and fish, they plant fish in this, and this was to supply the water for Bates for fire hydrants, for potential fires. This is how they get water into their fire hydrants, from gravity feed. And I don't know if they pump it up here to then get drained back or pumped back. I don't know how that goes. There's the mechanism that got it down for sure. This is the old berm up here, closest to town. I suppose I never saw that before because this always had water in it when I was a kid. But that's it. That'll be it. You could see the upper mill pond. I'm right on the berm here. See the upper mill pond and then part of the dry kill. Down there, part of the mill. Then, as you scan out over that way, you can see down into Bates. You can see the upper and the lower roads. You could walk over the hill and you see it a little better, but there's no need to do that. Away from the reservoir a little ways to the south was the old airstrip. And what they have up here now, somebody's planted trees, and they have trees that's in the 7.5, 8 foot range, and these trees were never here, oh man, 20 years ago, I guess. So what used to be an airstrip and was relatively level outside of a few boulders is now got trees planted in it. That's interesting. Something that you rarely find. I never found this up here as a kid. Here's an elkhorn shed. It's Dixie in the background there. And here be an elkhorn. We'll pick that up and take it home. And just off to the side here, I see another one right over in this direction, right there. Well, you don't see that very often, but you see it now. There it is. There's one right there, and then the other one is right up there. We're right on the old airstrip. That's something. Probably the greatest, the most important thing to remember here about going down off of this airport hill is this rocky road. That Kathy is absolutely sick and tired of. You go about a mile every hour, bouncing or bopping down through here. Yeah, great fun. Oh yeah, good road. Never have to solve them. Never have to greet them. Up at the upper mill pond here, up above Bates. This is the old dry kiln area again, looking down at the mill. And still have water in the upper mill pond. Old Gordon Rock's house up above there. I don't know if anybody still lives in that. There's a drainage out of the mill pond. This used to go down what we call the old chutes. They come up here and suckers would lay down in this thing, and we'd go down there and slay suckers when they get heavy for something to do. This was the lake over here where I first water skied. This is where I first learned how to water ski. Somewhere in the late 1950s, maybe close to 1960 or so. 58, 59, 1960. Just off from it here is the dry kiln. This is where they would dry the lumber, steam heat it dry. Heat it to get all the moisture out of it before they'd ship it off. They're lowered the amount of water, or raised the amount of water that would leave the pond, I guess. They used to have a dock area to go out there, and that's what we'd sit on and take off from when we'd water ski. We're going to walk right up above the hill here and look at the tree forts.